I suspect some of you might be thinking of doing is having that kind of conversation where you lay down the responsibility on them. And actually, I would suggest you flip that around and just have a conversation with yourself about how you want to lead this year or these next few years. How do you want to show up as a parent? What is actually going to make what's actually going to make a difference? What's actually going to bring this whole thing together? What's going to make it work? And it might be the opposite of what you're tempted to do. You know, you're tempted, most of us are, to try and control, to try and make it happen. Like I said, you know, there's a list of typical things that we might try and do to kind of sugarcoat some pressure, to bribe them in some ways or something, you know, to just book up loads of tutors. That's one of the tips that I would say. Yeah, I'll come into that in the end. But yeah, so I would really, with this conversation with yourself, just consider, have I had enough of trying to get results that way? So just to review how your parenting has been until now with this dynamic, trying to motivate, trying to get them engaged, and trying to get them to care, frankly, more about school and possibly their future life choices and work, and generally to be taking on that kind of responsibility too. And so, yeah, to really just draw a line there, if you have had enough of that, if you can see the negative results, not even kind of okay results of excessive, you know, nagging, micromanaging, just worrying and stressing as well for you. So the conversation with yourself is just to go, okay, that doesn't work. One thing to be just completely clear and frank with yourself that that's not working. That's getting the opposite results that you want. That's driving them away from you. That's demotivating them, and it's extremely devitalizing for you and for them. It's mutual disempowerment, right? So yeah, in a way, there's a lot you can take responsibility for before you even have any conversation with your teen, and that atmospherically you can communicate with them, and verbally, but also atmospherically. You know, just to trust them, just to go, okay, it's actually their journey. I've got to leave them to it, and I'm going to leave them to it. I'm going to give them space and time. I'm going to trust that they have it in them and that they will take up that responsibility if I, for real, step back and allow them to just take on that responsibility for themselves without taking yourself out of the picture altogether, still present, still very caring, still interested to whatever degree is acceptable and empowering for them. But to give them, just to retire from that role of like, I'm the parent, I'm going to make sure my kid gets the grades. You know, that's my role. It's not your role. Shouldn't be a role. It doesn't work well like that at all. So to have, you know, a proper handover as well with them, it can be, like I say, atmospheric, great, but also directly just saying, okay, I'm not going to show up like that anymore as a parent. I don't want to do that anymore. And not in a huffy, blaming way, but just for yourself, just to say to them, I'm done. I don't want to nag you. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to, you know, it really is just your responsibility. It's up to you. And I just want to be a supportive parent. I just want an atmosphere of peace at home. And you know, I know you've got this. Basically, I know you can do this, and I'm just gonna leave you to it. And